Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. From my last video I got a lot of comments, a lot of suggestions, so I'm listening to those, and basically what this video is all the same tests from that video but using waffle darts. That was one of the things that was most suggested to me. So for this video and all future tests, everything will be done with waffle darts because those are the most common darts right now that I've seen in the aftermarket community, and also some of the cheapest. So basically everything will be tested with those so that the results are more accurate to a real-world experience using these parts. I also got a couple corrections other people told me from the last video, so I'll be going over those later in the video. So I'm going to show you guys the testing of all of them first. I'm just going to kind of fast forward through that. All the data will once again be in a spreadsheet in the video description below. So now I'm going to go over the results. For stock wheels, the FPS dropped by about 11, but the standard deviation decreased, which is a good thing. Using that, we can assume that waffle darts are just generally more consistent than elite darts in production quality. For blaster parts wheels, this time they had a slight increase over stock wheels, as opposed to last time where they actually decreased over stock wheels, but only by about 2 FPS over stock wheels. And there was a high decrease in deviation. So once again, seems like waffle darts are more consistent overall than elite darts. For worker wheels had the lowest decrease from elite to waffle darts in FPS. They only decreased by about 3 FPS, which no one else came close to. The deviation stayed almost the same for worker wheels. For artifact metal straight grooved, there's an 8 FPS decrease, not a lot to say there. For artifact metal diagonal grooved, which last time were some of the worst wheels on there because they had a crazy high deviation and the shots were all over the place and relatively low. This time they had an increase in FPS over the last test and a much lower standard deviation. So basically what that means is that I probably messed up putting them onto the motors last time. So you should just ignore the data on them from the last video. But that does mean that it's relatively easy to mess up how you put them on your wheels. So that's something to be careful about if you're thinking about buying the metal worker wheels, or any metal wheels in general, because they all go onto motor shafts the same way. So overall, it looks like the diagonal grooved ones have basically the same performance as the straight grooved. The FPS was only lower by about 3 FPS. Onto Hooligan. Hooligan saw a 7 FPS drop from elite to waffle, which is about the average drop between all the wheels. The deviation stayed about the same. Containment Crew Cyclone wheels had a 13 FPS drop, which was the highest difference from elite to waffle darts. This was really weird to me, so I even tested them again after I finished the testing with all the other ones, and they still had about the same drop. The FPS increased a little bit on the same test, but only by about 2, so it's a little bit weird to me. I definitely want to test them a little bit more, see what's going on there, but it seems like they're great with elite darts and not as great with waffle darts. They're also the only ones where the standard deviation increased from elite to waffle as opposed to decreasing. So that was another interesting fact. Definitely want to test them out with a couple other darts. So conclusions again, which one should you buy? If you're looking for a slight increase in performance and a slight increase in sound quality and a slight increase in balance and all that sort of thing, I would definitely recommend blaster parts for that. If you're looking for the highest FPS you can get and you don't care about damaging darts or having dart dust mess up internal components and get everywhere, then I would go with worker wheels. But again, you are sacrificing the, I guess, cleanliness of motors and the internals of your blaster, especially when you have motors like Hellcats where they have the open air vent areas. I've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people. For some people, they've never seen worker flywheels mess up their darts, and some people have had absolutely no complaints about their motors. Other people have. So it's kind of up in the air as to whether or not they actually mess up anything for your blaster, but to be on the safe side, I probably wouldn't use them. If you're going for the second best performance after worker wheels and you care about not messing up your internals or darts, I would go with either Hooligan or Containment Crew. Their FPS was about the same. There wasn't a huge difference between them, both with Elite darts or with waffle darts. If you're using waffle darts, Hooligan is like 2 FPS better than Containment Crew. If you're using Elite darts, Containment Crew is like 3 FPS better than Hooligan. I'm sure if you test other darts, they'll also be around the same. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference between the two, so that's totally up to you. Depending also on what cage you use. Once I test these in canted cages and high crush cages, maybe we'll see more of a difference between the two, but as of right now, there's not really a huge difference. I would just buy whichever company you like better, basically. And if you're looking for the best sound you can get out of your blaster, I would go with the metal artifacts. A lot of people have complained about these, but they do have the best sound in my opinion. But that's like the only reason to use them over any of the others. So I have to make a few corrections from the last video. So in the last video, I complained a little bit that Hooligan wheels did not collect any dart dust as opposed to all the other wheels. Evan B. Nerf, who was one of the 3 hooligans who made the wheels, actually commented to say that that's how they were designed. They were designed to have the least impact on your darts and create the least amount of dart dust within your blaster. So basically the exact opposite of what worker wheels do. Speaking of worker wheels, the other correction I have to make, this was mentioned to me by Monkey Mods, which is where I get all of the parts that are made in China by Artifact and Worker. Monkey Mods actually corrected me in that I said that Big Hammer are basically identical to Worker and they seem like Worker clones. That's actually the opposite of how that worked. Big Hammer flywheels were actually the first aftermarket flywheels on the market, and then Worker copied them. The reason that we don't hear about Big Hammer flywheels is because they seem to have distribution issues or something where they just can't get over to the US very much. So basically nobody uses them. But they are available on Monkey Mods and they're really cheap, so I'll be getting those relatively soon and trying those out. So speaking of trying other things out, what's next for videos from here? I just got these. By these, I mean the motors. These are the Blade 180s sold by Foam Blast Shop, and I'm currently waiting on Titan Hyperions and Artifact M4Us. Once I have those 2 other sets of motors, I will have a pair of every popular aftermarket motor, and I'll be doing a test comparing all of those. I'll also be testing all the wheels in this video in a canted cage and in an open flywheel project high crush cage. The high crush cage test will definitely be after End War this summer, because I'll be picking up the high crush cages from Hooligan at End War instead of 3D printing one, because the metal cages will be a higher consistency between the cages to test with rather than 3D printed ones. Eventually I'll also get around to buying all the wheels that I don't have and all the cages that I don't have and testing those against what I already have. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.